You know, we usually think of cyber attacks as these quick smash and grab jobs, right? But what if the goal wasn't just to steal from the cloud? What if it was to build an entire criminal empire inside of it? Well, today, we're going to look at a group that's doing exactly that.
I mean, really think about that. An attack that doesn't just break in, it moves in. It sets up shop. This is a campaign so automated, so sophisticated, that it literally turns its victim's own infrastructure into a factory for more crime. And that right there is the playbook for a group called TeamPCP.
So, okay, how did anyone even figure this out? Well, it all kicked off when researchers spotted this just massive automated attack that was spreading like absolute wildfire through cloud environments.
And when they dug in, what they found wasn't just a one-off hack. No, this was a self-propagating worm. It was specifically designed to just jump from one compromised server to the next on its own, automatically turning the very fabric of the cloud against itself. Kind of scary, right?
So, you're probably wondering, how does this thing even get in? Well, here's the thing. The worm isn't some kind of super genius. It's an opportunist. It just looks for all the common mistakes people make. You know, things that are unfortunately way too common. We're talking about stuff like exposed Docker APIs, unsecured Kubernetes clusters, basically unlocked digital doors. And on top of that, it has one particularly nasty trick up its sleeve.
Okay, so see this number? 10.0? That's the severity score for that flaw I just mentioned, React2Shell. And let me tell you, a perfect 10 is as bad as it gets. It means the vulnerability is super easy to exploit from anywhere in the world, you don't have to trick anyone into clicking anything, and the impact is, well, catastrophic. It's pretty much the digital equivalent of leaving your front door wide open with a giant welcome sign on it.
All right, so who are the masterminds behind this whole criminal cloud operation? Let's meet the team.
The group pulling the strings is TeamPCP, although they've got a few aliases. Now, the best way to wrap your head around them isn't to picture a typical group of hackers in a dark room. No, think of them more like a malicious tech startup. They're actually building what researchers have called a cloud-native cybercrime platform.
And just look at how fast they move. I mean, it's wild. Their first blip on the radar was on Telegram in July of 2025. By November, they were already running active ops. And then, just 1 month later, their huge worm campaign was in full swing. Think about that. They went from an idea to a major global threat in less than 6 months. That's incredibly fast.
And their reach? It's absolutely global. In this group, they're not shy about it at all. They actually post the stolen data publicly on their Telegram channel for their hundreds of members to see. We're seeing victims pop up everywhere, from North America to Asia and all across Europe.
Okay, so this is the big question, right? How does this automated factory for cybercrime actually work? What's their playbook?
Now, here's what's so important to understand. They didn't invent some crazy new hacking tool. They didn't need to. Instead, they just focused on perfecting the use of tools that are already out there, hitting known vulnerabilities and those common misconfigurations we talked about. Their real genius isn't in the tools, it's in the process, the automation, and the industrial scale of it all.
Their whole strategy boils down to this simple, repeatable, and just devastatingly effective 4-step loop. Okay, so first, their automated scanners are out there 24/7, just constantly searching the internet for vulnerable cloud services. Step 2, they exploit those weaknesses to get in. 3, the second they're in, they deploy scripts to find even more targets and expand their footprint. And finally, step 4, they cash in. They monetize that access through a whole bunch of different avenues.
And all of this, every step, builds towards their ultimate goal. See, they're not just hacking individual servers. They are transforming all of that compromised cloud infrastructure into a giant network that works for them. It's a criminal ecosystem that just grows on its own, constantly finding new victims, new resources to exploit, all of it happening automatically.
Which brings us to, really, the most important takeaway from this entire thing: why this whole approach is such a dangerous, next-level evolution in the world of cyber threats.
If you take a quick look at their toolkit, you can see just how specialized they are. It's like they've built an assembly line of malicious scripts. You've got one script that checks out the environment and installs scanners. Then another one comes in that's built specifically to steal credentials from Kubernetes. A third one is designed to find those misconfigured services. And a fourth automatically deploys malicious containers. Every single tool has one specific job to do in their automated factory. So who are they aiming for? The short answer: anyone and everyone. The attacks are purely opportunistic.
They don't care about specific industries, they're just looking for any vulnerable infrastructure they can find. And since so much of the world's infrastructure lives in the cloud, well, that means their targets naturally end up being on the biggest platforms, like AWS and Azure.
And get this, their business model is just ruthlessly efficient. They squeeze every drop of value out of a compromise in two main ways. First, they monetize the raw computing power itself, for things like crypto mining or running proxy relays. But at the same time, they're also monetizing the information they find through data theft, extortion, and ransomware. This gives them multiple, steady streams of income, which makes their whole operation incredibly resilient.
So let's just boil it down. The real threat from TeamPCP isn't some single, brilliant, never-before-seen exploit. Honestly, the technical novelty of their tools is pretty low. The real danger here is their scale. It's their focus on automation that lets them weaponize common, everyday security problems at a level we really haven't seen before.
And that really leaves us with this final, kind of chilling thought. What we're seeing here is a fundamental shift away from individual, targeted attacks and toward these massive, industrialized operations. This forces all of us to completely rethink cloud security. Because if attackers can build these self-sustaining criminal ecosystems, the question isn't just who they're going to target anymore. The question becomes, what entire systems are they going to take over next?